Well, g'day everybody. So a bit different today. Today we've been out on the Zero FXS Supermoto bike. This is probably the sportiest of the 6 Zero bikes that are currently on sale, and been riding it around Adams Motorsport Park out here at the go-kart track. Had a go on the dirt as well, but you know, what have you not got with an electric motorcycle? No compression braking. So you know, Zero's tried to work in a little bit of that with regenerative braking, and after a while, once you sort of get into it and you get the thing nice, and particularly the tyres nice and warm, you start to get a bit of a slide along. You don't notice it too much. Like it's a fun thing to ride once you've really got the thing warmed up. It does go pretty hard, you know. Like this thing pumps out sort of I think about 70 foot-pounds of torque. You know, which is nothing really to sneeze at. It'll fire you out of corners really nicely. It's still got the same thing with, you know, all electric motorcycles, in that when you get on the gas, if you're sort of halfway open throttle and then you go from halfway to full, you're not going to get the same power obviously as you got from when you closed throttle. It's a bit different to a petrol bike in that regard. But look, I've had a really good time on this. I actually spent a lot of time last couple of months riding this thing around Southern California, just as a bit of a commuter as well. And I mean, as a bar hopping bike, as a beach bike, you know, these things are great. They're super quiet, they handle really well, they brake really well. It's, yeah, really cool thing to ride. Extremely comfortable as well. I mean, you've got a huge big seat here as well. Once you reprogram your brain to riding an electric bike, you really don't even notice the lack of a gearbox. A couple of times around here, I went searching for the gear lever, didn't find it. I went, oh yeah, that's right, and then off we went. These bikes are in the absolute infancy as far as development goes, battery range goes. You know, I mean, talking about battery range, you can get about 90 miles out of one of these things. 6.5 kilowatt hours is its maximum capacity. If you're really getting into it and you're in the sport mode or the custom mode, so you've got Eco Sport and custom mode on your throttle, if you're really getting into it, you can get about 35 odd miles out of it. It takes about 8 hours to charge up overnight, so you just come in, plug it in overnight, or when you get to work. You've got a power charger that comes down significantly. You can also alter the power characteristics of the motorcycle via the app. Now that's, you know, super cool. Like, whereas a lot of manufacturers nowadays are coming out with electronics that you can program via your app, this you can program the entire bike. You know, all the power characteristics you can do through the app. So look, talking about sporting performance, it would sort of be remiss of me not to mention this baby. So this is Marcel Ernie's Pikes Peak racer. Actually got to see this thing up close. These guys were pitted next to me when I had my KTM out there at Pikes Peak, and I mean, hey, you can see the difference on this thing. There's slick tyres, you've got cartridge suspension, you've got a brake that's off a S1000 RR BMW Superbike. Everything's, you know, beefed up, jacked up. This thing's got the Zero SR engine in it as well, so it's got a bit more peak performance, a bit more torque, a bit more horsepower. But essentially, this thing is just a beefed up version of the FXS. I mean, I had a couple of laps on it today. Far out. Good bike, really good bike. Like, they've set this thing up really well. Obviously, this thing was set up for the mountain, so you know, compared to obviously a standard road bike, it's chalk and cheese. This thing handles a lot better, particularly the fact that it's got nice, sticky, slick tyres. If you actually had this in mind, you wanted to race one of these things, you go and buy the standard FXS for $10,990. And Hollywood Electrics will build you one of these things. In fact, this one itself is actually for sale through Hollywood Electrics. But you could go and grab a standard FXS. They'll build you one of these things. You know, that's a pretty different, it's a bit of a different supermoto bike. You'll be able to take this out to a track day, and there's not many people out there that are going to have the same bike as you. So, look, as I was saying before, you know, these things, they're only just getting started. You know, within 5 years, these bikes have gone from a bit of a joke to being, well, hang on, these things are actually pretty quick, and they're getting faster and faster and faster. So, hey, look, those people that say these things aren't coming, they're idiots, because they're already here. So give them another 10 years or so, and I guarantee you there's going to be a lot more of them. And the performance factors out of these things, they're limitless. You know, it's battery technology. As batteries get smaller and more powerful, bikes are going to get lighter, the handling's going to get better, and it's just, you watch, it's going to go. So yeah, I've had a great time today. A bit of an eye-opener. It's been a long time since I've been on an electric bike, but yeah, had a great time. Thanks a lot, Zero. Cheers. See ya.